Hello everyone, my name is Kaushik Shah. I'm working on EURECA research project called On the Determinants of OECD Foreign Direct Investments in Sub-Saharan Africa with Mr. Zia Wu, and our mentor is Dr. Garcia Fuentes, and we are from Dillard College of Business Administration at MSU, Texas. In this video, I'm going to be presenting my research as poster on the go. So introduction. So what is foreign direct investment? FDI is a category of cross-border investment where a company or individual or even a government of a country invests in different country. So from our literature review, we have found that the FDI has positive effects on economic growth, and FDI can also affect economic growth in developing countries because it can contribute to transfer of technology along with capital. However, FDI inflows to developing economies in 2016 decreased by 14% to 646 billion, and in the case of Africa, FDI's inflows decreased by 3% to 59 billion. So this suggests that it is important to study the factors that affect FDI inflows to African countries. The objective of this research is to analyze the determinants that affect the OECD countries' foreign direct investment in sub-Saharan Africa, and we aim to contribute to explaining this issue by disaggregating FDI from different OECD source countries to sub-Saharan African host countries. In this research, we have used panel data, and so our data includes 157 panels or home-host country pairs, which we obtained from pairing 28 OECD countries with 25 sub-Saharan African countries. Panel data is a multidimensional data containing observations over time, and the total observations in our research are 1,108, and the period covered is from 1991 to 2012. To identify the main factors that affect the OECD FDI in sub-Saharan Africa, we used the following linear regression econometric model as shown in the poster. We have used variables like the dependent variable is the FDI position of OECD country as a share of sub-Saharan host countries' GDP in year T, and the dependent variable depends somewhat on some country-specific characteristics beta 0, and then it also depends on host countries' real GDP per capita, then host countries' trade openness, real exchange rate, host countries' inflation, host countries' real interest rate, then the host country's fuel exports as a share of merchandise exports, then host country's political right index, which we use as a proxy for risk, and this index varies from 1 to 7, higher the worse. Then we also use percentage of phones per 100 people as a proxy for host country's infrastructure, secondary school enrollment as a proxy for human capital. And then in our methodology, we use pooled ordinary least squares POLS model, fixed effects, and random effects model. For results, the table 1 presents the results on determinants of OECD FDI in sub-Saharan Africa. According to the pooled OLS least squares results, the model shows that the host real per capita GDP has a negative effect on OECD FDI, while the host and home interest rate differential, host natural resource availability, host infrastructure, have a positive and significant effect on OECD FDI. However, there can be some country fixed effects affecting the reliability of POLS estimates, and to address this issue, we conduct fixed effects and random effects estimations. So table 1 also shows the fixed effects and random effects estimations, and from the Hausman test, it suggests that fixed effects estimation is appropriate, and therefore the discussion of the results comes from the fixed effects model. If you look at the results from the fixed effects model, it shows that the host real per capita GDP has a positive and significant effect at 5% level on OECD FDI. Then trade openness, on the contrary of the expectation, has a negative and significant effect on FDI. In this regard, some research suggests that openness may not have a positive effect on FDI flows to Africa. Then the real exchange rate between the host country and the currency of the US dollar has a negative and significant effect on OECD FDI. This is also an unexpected result. However, it may be that the large depreciation of the host country currency is associated with macroeconomic instability, which has been found to have negative effects on investment and growth. Then host countries' availability of natural resources has a positive effect and significant effect on OECD FDI. As well, infrastructure for which we used the percentage of phones per 100 people have a great positive significant effect on OECD FDI. And 66% of US FDI in Sub-Saharan Africa in 1993 was in the oil industry. So this suggests that OECD investors are willing to invest in natural resource sector and in Sub-Saharan African countries that have better infrastructure. So the conclusion, this study covers the period from 1991 to 2012 and uses panel data set for 157 country pairs due to matching of 28 OECD countries with 25 Sub-Saharan African countries. The results show that host country real per capita GDP, availability of natural resources, and infrastructure are important determinants of OECD FDI in Sub-Saharan Africa. This finding gives support to the earlier research that finds positive effect of the host country GDP on FDI. Regarding further research, we plan to analyze other relationships between home and host countries that can affect the location of OECD FDI. Our paper was accepted at 14th Annual Undergraduate Research at Dallas Fed and 2020 Great Plains Honors Symposium, but both of these conferences were canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We plan to present this research at 2020 Annual National Collegiate Honors Council Conference later this year. Thank you so much for watching this video. And I would like to thank Dr. Garcia Fuentes for mentoring us. And I would also like to thank EURECA for giving us the opportunity to present our research virtually. Thank you.